This chapter was chock full of stuff. So, well, first of all, I didn't think we'd ever see Chopper without his hat. But that tied into the fact that apparently Beige does not like seeing guests, dirty. So they had to bathe, and they had to wear the mafia-like clothes in order to meet with him. So from Brooke to Carrot to Nami, nice dress, Nami. I'm presuming Chopper. I don't really think we got a good view of him in his mafia clothes, but basically, it was like a scene of The Godfather got pasted into one piece. Until you realize that one guy has hair a little bit too spiky. But before I get on to the return of Caesar, let's get into what has been going around as what could be Big Mom's downfalls, which are her children. Yes, because we got 2 more examples of that. Of course, the first example we have seen before being, her half-mermaid daughter, the one that's married to Aladdin. And we got to see Peckham's being treated by these Sun Pirates, who are really just keeping him out of the way so Big Mom doesn't realize what's about to happen. Which is bad. Because as much as Peckham's didn't want to ally with Beige, Luffy, on the other hand, more or less will. And in order to keep Peckham's from, becoming a problem, because they don't want anything to happen to Peckham's, it's best to keep him out of the way, even if, not by force exactly, but by coincidence. Sadly, don't exactly see him staying down for much, which pulls the first hole in Beige's plan, which is gonna come up as a very bad point later on, I'm guessing. However, the plan itself seems like it's gonna be shown next chapter, and I don't think they said there was gonna be a break next week, so hallelujah for that. But on the other hand, it's not like that plan's going to succeed anyway, because would Big Mom really be taken down that easily? Fuck no. It's a Yonko. This plan is a lot more haphazard than any of us would like to admit. It's probably not going to work. If it does, Oda will give us something to make it work. But there's no doubt in my mind that Oda will first rip the plan apart before putting it back together. Hopefully, it's whatever rips it apart that will be what makes it succeed in the end. But enough of that. Back to what I was saying about her daughters. And speaking of Beige, let's go to Chiffin. And something that surprised me, I didn't think that Chiffin was that, ostracized by Big Mom either. I mean, just from looking at Chiffin, she remembered Lola and beat her black and blue. First of all, I have to say, wow, Chiffin has some endurance, but Big Mom is a terrible parent. Not that that wasn't obvious, but she absolutely fucking is. And we also get to know that Chiffin and Lola are actually twins. But here is one of the biggest things that we learned as of today, which is why Lola is hated so much, and why there are no giants in Totoland. Now, there were a lot of theories about this, and they were right. Those theories were right. The Prince of the Elfab Kingdom fell in love with Lola. The marriage was arranged. Lola backed out, ran away, and Chiffin was hated forever just for looking like Lola. And because of that, Big Mom decided she's going to make them artificial giants, which is exactly why Caesar was hired. That being said, let's tie back into Caesar a little bit. Just a little bit, because in the end, we will still have to talk about the giants as a whole, but we could honestly save that for a bigger discussion video. And I'll put in the polls above if you guys want me to talk about everything the Giants have done in One Piece that they could still do further in One Piece. Because the Giants will be playing bigger and bigger parts, including the well-teased Elbaf arc. So, I'll leave that aside for now. Let's talk about something else, which is, like I said, tying back into Caesar. Caesar has more or less been saved by Beige, but it seems like he might have to stay with them. Here's one thing I'm not entirely sure of. Will he stay with the Fire Tank Pirates? Now, of course, as long as they have his heart, he can't leave no matter what. But now that he's no longer in any immediate danger and could just literally become a part of the Fire Tank Pirate crew, there's no reason for the Straw Hats to actually, quote-unquote, save him anymore. And now that he's no longer under their protection, they no longer really have any needs to play it cool with him. In matter of fact, I liked how he was included in the giant ruckus that was a three-way shitstorm with him, Beige, and Luffy just arguing over nitty-gritty shit, like Beige hurting Peckham's, or the fact that Caesar doesn't like either of his captors, and it just gets into a whole mess, because he still has his devil fruit powers, as we see. He's not wearing cuffs or anything. I like how he tried to blend in, but it was completely obvious, and I actually find it hilarious that it was Luffy who spotted him. And Nami's like, no, Luffy, you're right for once, that is him. You're right for once. That's priceless. It's true, though. It's absolutely true. Between him and Chopper, they are so easily led by the nose. Going back to, let's say, Soga King. Like, how ridiculous is it that in the end, Luffy and probably even Chopper still have no idea that Soga King was Usopp. And honestly, at this point, probably don't even care, because now that Usopp's such a badass on his own, Soga King is pointless. Yeah, pretty much. We haven't even seen a hint of his ass since Thriller Bark arc, which was actually referenced in this chapter when Lola was mentioned between, not basically all the women bathing together, in that gratuitous fan service scene that honestly I definitely needed. When I wake up in the morning, that's what I like. Fan service of Nami taking a shower. Bravo, Oda, bravo. Nami's breasts have never looked finer. But all jokes aside, there was some iffiness in that dialogue. For example, Lola was not made into a zombie. There were two separate people. It was the zombie that was using her shadow, but you know what, I guess Nami couldn't exactly get bothered to go into the nitty-gritty details. And by Nami, I mean Oda. And in one sense, I'm okay with that. It's not like he's Toriyama, who does that shit every 5 seconds, and not even on purpose. So, Oda, you have done enough to warrant that, unlike some other mangaka. But regardless, I liked this chapter overall. It was interesting. It was very funny. There were a lot of parallels. But overall, I still want to know exactly how in the world is this crew of misfits going to join together. I mean, seriously. Between Caesar, Beige, Luffy, and Peckham's not staying still, it seems like a fucking disaster. And we don't even know what role the people from the underworld are going to play in this. Would they actually join either side, or would they just be bystanders? Like, we literally don't know. Like, Jinbei said, beware of them. Yes, they could have every right to beware of them. But what's to say that at least half of them won't join with them to take down Big Mom? It could literally go either way. These guys are wild cards. These guys are literal wild cards. I remember there were even theories of maybe even Crocodile becoming part of this. Now, as baseless as that mostly is, I could see it, mainly just because before Beige brought the Mafia into Pirates, you have to admit, most of us probably saw that connection in Crocodile himself. And quite honestly, for the longest time, I thought that was the farthest they would delve into that. That being said, it just goes to show how much culture overall, Western, Eastern, has influenced Oda. It's good to see his influences popping up every now and then. But in the end, what do you guys think? Do you think that anyone we have seen before would be able to just drop into this conflict? Whether it be, you know, people that really don't have any business being there, like Crocodile. But then again, a broker would be perfect for Crocodile, considering he has to do something to bring himself back up to power. That's kind of like what Bar-Q Works was in the first place. It was an underground organization, not even a pirate crew. It was just an organization that was mainly kept underground, away from the prying eyes of the Marines. He could obviously make a smaller scale, yet still pretty damn big organization. Just off of him and Mr. One alone. He was a former warlord. He has the Noria, I don't know the word, but he could do it. Or Jewelry Bonnie, another one. Either way, what do you guys think? Put your comments down below. I'll also put a poll up and above again. Say, who's more likely to show up, Bonnie or Croc? Till then, I'm Smalls. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Later.